Welcome everyone to the call today. It's February 16th. This is Dave Laniato, CEO and founder of iZig. Welcome to today's Mobile Social Delivered webinar, the fifth in our series. I couldn't be more excited about today's call. We've got a very, very special guest joining us to really dive into a category that I think is often overlooked when you think about mobile media and how it is really kind of sweeping the nation and the globe in terms of how it's delivering profits for, literally throughout every vertical market. Today we've got the special opportunity to be joined by our friend Ted Jenkins from Oxygen Financial to really help us talk about how, in the professional services industry, which again, if you think about insurance agents, you think about lawyers, you think about accountants, and you think about financial planners and the like, literally millions of individuals throughout the country on how they can leverage mobile to not only increase their business, bring in new customers, but stay connected with their existing customers, and actually even some secrets and some tips that Ted's going to share with us on today's call. So I couldn't be more excited about what we're going to dive into. And we're going to talk about our today's kind of benefit of mobile, really talk about video and YouTube and how that can help people really stay in touch with people and give them that added pop when you send a text message with a link. A simple tip, but I think the folks that are listening to today's call will find that very valuable. Then we're going to talk about the upcoming seminar that we have planned right here in Atlanta, Georgia, a little bit over a week from today, and some of the new and exciting things we're going to be rolling out. So without further ado, we'd like to start the call just by talking about mobile and how it's sweeping the country. I mean, it's really amazing, as people who, watch, Wall Street and, have just recently seen Apple, closing in on a $500 billion market cap and having sold, 40 million iPhones in the last quarter. And it's just, you can't watch any news article. You can't, pick anything up without hearing about mobile. And, the reason is it's a new economy. It's a new economy and it's a revolution. It's literally changing the way people interact and connect. And, it's literally all markets. Everybody is doing it. Like the story that I was telling someone the other day is, I no longer set the time on my watch because I'm literally using my mobile phone as my timepiece. People are using their phone as their alarm clock, as their camcorder. You go to a basketball game, nobody's got a camcorder any longer. They're just all using their phone. And I could go on and on. It really is an extension of your arm. And, the thing that's so powerful is how businesses are using it to literally grow their bottom line and, bring in new business. So it's happening now, and, it's got the strongest ROI of any marketing program that I've ever seen. And it's all market. So, we're going to dive into this call on how that really is touching all businesses, hearing from Oxygen Financial and, whether it is, we heard last week from Chris Jordan from Wireless Zone with 12 locations and how just impactful this is and how this is the most powerful marketing channel that he's ever seen because 97% of all text messages are open, and more importantly, within an hour. So again, it's immediate. Everybody's got that phone with them at all times, and that's really the power of this. And on today's call, I'm going to be more excited to introduce everyone to professional services and the category that is often overlooked. But what I will say about this vertical is everybody knows an accountant, everybody knows a lawyer, everybody knows a financial planner, if not 10. And those individuals really can use this product and use it to boost their business and stop using some of the old school tactics that, again, are more traditional marketing, but introduce them the way that this digital frontier can help them grow their business. And the same way that email marketing, worked itself into the marketing plans, I guess, going back 15 years ago, from personal branding to prospect text marketing, staying in touch with your customers, client engagement, content delivery that we're going to delve into, and, some other, cool features, whether we're talking about text to video or text to call, text for info and offers, and so much more. But, who better to tell the folks on today's call than Ted Jenkins, who's using this product. And Ted is one of the leading financial firms, really delivering a financial product to the Gen X and Gen Y segment. And without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Ted Jenkins. And, maybe, Ted, if you could start by just sharing with the folks on the call today, how you got introduced to mobile and how you kind of started to, weave that into your business.
Sure. Hey, thanks, Dave. I appreciate the introduction. Interestingly enough, I didn't even realize that the 90210 was sort of a business that you could sell it. There was somebody that we knew locally that talked about us and us using the technology, and we as a firm really like the idea, because we deal with Generation X and Generation Y, about using a mobile platform to dispense our information, because this is the way they receive information. They don't like cold calls. They don't like going to seminars at hotels, and that's how we got introduced to it, just starting out as a vendor using the product for our own business.
Very cool, very cool. So maybe, talk a little bit about how you guys have, I know you do a lot of marketing, whether it's radio, and you actually host a radio show yourself. Maybe talk about how you, use the text call to action in some of your different marketing, and how, how that sort of changed the way that you talk to people and introduce your business when you're, kind of out networking.
Yeah, well, one of the first things that we use, and both my partner and I and our employees use a lot, is the M card. We would historically go to a lot of places, like a lot of professional services people do, doctors, dentists, accountants, and you meet someone at a networking function, and you have a glass of wine, and you exchange cards, and then most of us, if you were like me, I'd end up going home at the end of the night, and we'd have 4 or 5 business cards that are kind of crumpled up in our pocket, and then it's like, well, what do I do the next day? And now when I go to those networking events, or I'm at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, or wherever I am, and people say, hey, do you have a business card? And typically now I just say no, but I say, Dave, do you have a phone? And they say, yeah, and I tell them text Ted J to 90210, and then they can get my M card right into their phone. And amazingly enough, as good as that technology is today, a lot of people are like amazed that you can do that, and it allows them to get a V card, and then the next day they can immediately get my information. And it really makes an impact on people when you meet them for the first time.
What's interesting, Ted, about this category, and we talk a lot about ROI, return on investment. Oftentimes marketing spend, you don't even know what's working and what's not working. They say that 80% of your marketing is done, so you can figure out the 20% that is working. What do you figure just the value of one additional customer is? One additional customer that you piqued their interest, and you've stayed in touch with that text message that perhaps sends them to your video and interacts with them, and gets them from a prospect to an actual live customer. And the reason I ask is, when you think about lawyers and accountants and financial planners and the like, they're much different than maybe a fast food restaurant that we have using the IZIG platform. And while the numbers might be a lot smaller of opt-in, I also think the value of a customer is much higher. So maybe you can talk to the folks on the call today about how you think about marketing, and how you think about the spend on the IZIG platform versus the return that you've already started to see, and certainly project to see in the future.
Yeah, I mean, one customer might be worth $5,000 to $7,000 to us, and there's 2 ways most services businesses make money: immediate cash flow, and then equity someday if they choose to sell their service business to somebody else. So, with what it costs us to do IZIG, where we really run 3 or 4 different types of campaigns, and I'll explain them, and just one customer a year, and we get a 200% return on our money for just one customer, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I want the folks on the call to really understand, because a lot of people think, well, geez, they can't put up a point of purchase sign and a banner in their restaurant because they don't really have a retail establishment. They're more, I guess, B2B, kind of B2C. But I'm looking here at your, the back of your brochure that's got 3 channels: text Oxygen to 90210, text the Tax Pro to 90210, and text Join at 02 to 90210. And maybe talk about how you think about those 3 channels. And again, I think what's important for people to understand on this call is the marketing spend on mobile. I mean, I would almost say that it's criminal for a business not to be using it today, and certainly that spans into this whole category of millions of people that are in the professional services realm. So maybe just share with the folks how you built 3 different mobile channels, and how you're using that to grow both internally and externally.
Well, Dave, when we looked at it as a firm, one of the things that we realized is most professional services people, dentists, doctors, accountants, insurance people, financial advisors. When you go to their websites are usually pretty bad to begin with. But on top of it, mostly what you have there is some description that says, here's the history of the firm, and here's about us, and here's what we do. And the truth is, most of the people that are between 25 and 50 years old, they don't read. So what we decided to do strategically was hire somebody to cut a video. We made a really cool high-def video, and so when you text Oxygen to 90210, you can gain access to that video and watch about the firm in your own leisure. And the video is not more than a couple of minutes, so it doesn't take up too much attention span because we realize people don't look at the videos for too long. You can't run a 10-minute video, but it's really, really powerful because trying to explain what you do sometimes in any service business can be really difficult. And as they say, sort of a picture speaks 1,000 words. The video speaks 10,000 words because you can sort of hear and feel what the company's all about, and that's been huge. And we do that in our tax business with the Tax Pro at 90210, and we do it at Oxygen with Oxygen at 90210.
Now, that's awesome, Ted. I mean, in today's call, we're going to really delve into that a little bit more. And, would you say that the likelihood that somebody becomes an actual customer is exponentially greater after they've seen your video and gotten a little bit of the DNA? You guys are a real progressive firm. I think people want to do business not with brands, but they want to do business with people. And, this is all about personal branding. I showed some pictures of you on there. When you think about professional services, generally speaking, you want to do business with, unlike maybe Sonic or some fast food restaurants where you're really getting to know the brand. I think in this area, it's getting to know the people. But after they see that video and start to understand who you guys are, wouldn't you say that you're much more likely to get a customer?
Oh, it's huge. The thing about it, if most of you think about your financial professional or financial services relationships today, you don't want to go into a bank or you don't want to be on the 18th floor of a building seeing how much money you're paying for a view or talking to some agent that, is trying to push a product down your throat. And the ability to really look at that video and see how we differentiate and what we do, plus the coolness factor, is they just get to see a video, it makes a huge impact on a person and moving them a step forward and becoming a client of Oxygen.
That's awesome, Ted. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on today's call and sharing with the folks throughout the country how you're using mobile and how you've kind of been a thought leader in using mobile in this professional services realm. And we truly believe that it's just a matter of time before the millions of insurance agents and financial planners like yourself and doctors and dentists and all the different people within this category using mobile. So again, thank you so much, Ted, for joining us on today's call.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So we're going to move on a little bit, folks. And that was awesome hearing from Ted. I mean, he's actually living proof. One of the leading financial firms that is out using mobile and growing their business, interacting, recruiting off of the system, and building multiple channels. So I think we got some excellent nuggets of information from Ted today. We're going to talk a little bit more about YouTube and just the power of that video. And you heard Ted say that once somebody can actually see him, and you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a professionally made video if you don't want to. You could simply just take out your camera, do a little video tour of your office, do a 60-second intro of yourself, and put that right in a text message, put a bit.ly link in there, and then drop that in a text message to somebody. And it's so powerful. We recently had some of our agency partners use that for IZIG, and it really lifts it. And we talk about 90210 being the gateway to mobile, and the reason is because the first place you get somebody is via that text message. It's 97% of the time it's read, it's open, and then from there you can drive someone to a video, to a picture, to an article, or even to a mobile website or mobile app. So there's just so much to do, and it's very, very simple within the platform. We talk about simplicity, and the thing that is just unbelievable about this, and I was talking to Ted before today's call about just even going to like a chamber meeting and using this product. And the great thing is you can personalize, promote, and play. You can set this all up literally within minutes and have a mobile campaign and the M card set up or a full mobile program set up that you can introduce to people. So it's phenomenal. We always like to talk on these calls about, just the ability to share it and pique somebody's interest in whether you're using this to build and be a partner of ours in building IZIG, or you're using the product like Ted is for his, financial firm, you can just tell everyone. It's a conversation starter. We all know that mobile is, the hottest thing in today's market. So by telling somebody, hey, I've got a new thing, a new marketing program that was introduced with mobile, or hey, try this out, it's very easy to pique someone's interest, generate that, and then follow through with a demo. They can see it in real life, and then meet people at their needs, whether you're using the product to build your bottom line or you're introducing this as an opportunity for individuals to partner with you in helping us build the biggest brand in mobile media. It's really a phenomenal way to move people right to action. And what we always say is Isaac's all about partnerships. I mean, it's partnerships with folks like Ted Jenkins and the thousands and thousands of clients we have throughout the country. And as we really dive into new verticals and professional services, I think it's just wide open for Isaac and our agency partners. So with that, it'll conclude today's seminar, webinar. Sorry, I just wanted to introduce to you guys. I couldn't be more excited about the upcoming seminar we're having. It's the Mobile Social Day, and if you're anywhere close to Atlanta, Georgia, certainly join us. We're going to really dive into what's happening with mobile, social, how we've combined the two things, the launch of our new Facebook product that we're going to be rolling out, and some other new products and services that are going to help businesses really explode with mobile and how they can use that to connect with their customers, drive their bottom line, and really tap into what is the new way that businesses are going to be using to communicate while they combine social and mobile together in a whole turnkey marketing program, which has never been easier, but the fact of the matter is 9 out of 10 businesses still are not using the product that we have. So, with that, we'll conclude today's call. Thank you so much. This is the 5th in the series of our webinars, so join us next week, Thursday afternoon, as we explore a new topic and a new guest. So stay tuned. Thank you so much. That will conclude today's call.